Okay, let's take a look at the nuclear reactions that you had for homework. Now, the first set, the book is much nicer than I am. So number 5 says, write the nuclear equation for the transmutation of a radioactive uranium isotope in uranium-234 into thorium isotope Th230 by the emission of an alpha particle. I wouldn't be that nice because that has given you more than what I really need to give you. All I really need to tell you is that it's a uranium-234 and that it's emitting an alpha particle. And if it's emitting an alpha particle, that'll be an He42. And then you could figure out what it became, because on the top it would have to be 230 and on the bottom would have to be 90. And then you would look that up in the periodic table and you would find out it was thorium. So we don't really need to give you this thorium, so the book's being too kind. It's also too kind in number 6, where it says, write the nuclear equation for the transmutation of a radioactive thorium particle into a radioactive rhenium. So it's thorium-230, so 230-90 Th, and it says by the emission of an alpha particle again. So 42He, and again, you don't need to know anything else, just subtract. You'll get 226 on the top, you'll get 88 on the bottom, and when you look at the periodic table, you will discover this is Ra. Number 7 says, write the nuclear equation for the transmutation of radioactive radium isotope into radon by the emission of an alpha particle. Again, gave you too much. So 226 Ra, and it's 88. And again, it's given off an alpha particle. And again, you could have figured out the rest. This would have to be 222. This would have to be 86. Look on the periodic table and find that 86 is Rn. Number 7 is done. Number 8. Radioactive lead isotope 214 can change into radioactive bismuth to also 14 by the emission of a beta particle and an antineutrino. So it's lead 214, and lead is 82, and lead is Pb. And then it's saying it's given off a beta particle, and I forgot to mention this. So there are 2 ways you can write a beta particle. You can write it as 1, because it's an electron, -1, or 1 with the beta. The Greek letter beta is a B with a capital B with a longer tail. Okay, so 1. I'll use the beta since we haven't before. 0 antineutrino. On the top must be 214. On the bottom must be 83, so that when you add a -1 to it, you'll get 82. And 83 is bismuth. Number 8 is done. Flip the page. I then ask you to do number 5. Radioactive bismuth 21483 emits a beta particle. So finally, it's more complicated because it just tells you that it's 21483 bismuth and that it's emitting a beta particle. So 0, -1, either beta or an electron. 0, they're the same thing. And then what number must be on the top? It must be a 214. What number must be on the bottom? It must be 84, so that when you add the -1 to it, you will get 83, and when you look in the periodic table, that's polonium. Number 6, radioactive polonium 21084 emits an alpha particle. So not 214 like we just had, it's a different isotope, 210, polonium. And it emits an alpha particle, so 42 alpha. So the top number here must be 206, and the bottom number here must be 82. Look up 82 and find out that it's lead. Number 7. An unstable chromium isotope, which is 56. So 56 Cr, and chromium is 24. Emits a beta particle. So plus 0, negative 1 beta, plus 0, 0 antineutrino. On the top must be 56, and on the bottom must be 25, right? To give you 24 when you add the negative 1. Look that up in the chart, periodic table, and you should get manganese, Mn. Okay? Number 11 says uranium 238 decays by alpha emission and 2 successive beta emissions, and it wants you to write all 3. So uranium 238, and it's 92, and so it says first it gives off an alpha particle, so 42 alpha, so the top would have to be 234, and the bottom would have to be 90, and when you look at the table, 90 is thorium. So now you have to start a new one. You can't just like keep going here, because now it's thorium 234 that's going to give off the first beta particle. So thorium 234 emits a beta particle, and just because I've been using the beta symbol, let me use the E. And what must this be? Well, the top has to be 234, and the bottom has to be 91, right? So that when I add negative 1 to it, I'll get 90. When you look 91 up on the periodic table, you get Pa, protactinium. And then it says it gives off another beta particle. So 91 Pa, and it's giving off a negative 1 and a 0, 0 antineutrino. The top has to be 234, and the bottom has to be 92, and 92, when you look it up, is uranium. So we're back to a different isotope of uranium. Okay? And then I asked you to do one more set over on page 645. Number 5. Maybe I'll just go up here because they're not very long. Okay, so 645. Number 5 says, use the table, it's a periodic table. All right, so it's carbon 14, so 14,6C, and it's showing us that it's a beta, it's giving off a beta particle. So 0, negative 1E, and an antineutrino, which it's not showing us, but we know that's there. So the top has to be 14, the bottom has to be 7. This would be nitrogen. B is chromium, so 5524 Cr, and it is also giving off a beta particle, so 0, negative 1E, plus 0, 0 with the antineutrino. So the top again has to be 55 and the bottom must be 25. Look it up in the periodic table. It's manganese again. Mn. Number 6, write the nuclear equation for the transmutation of a uranium isotope into a thorium one by the emission of an alpha particle, and it's uranium 238. So 23892U, and again, it's given you too much information. I would have just said by an alpha particle and you figure out what it is. It'll be 23490, which is TH. Number 7. A radioactive polonium isotope undergoes alpha decay, and it's polonium 214. So 214 and polonium is 84. PO. It's one of the ones Marie Curie worked with, and so she named it polonium after she was from Poland. And it said beta or alpha, so it must be 210 on the top, it must be 82 on the bottom, and 82 is lead. Gotta run out of time. Number 8 has all beta decays, so 210, 82 PB, and it's giving off a 0, negative 1E and an antineutrino. And so this has to be 21083, which will be bismuth, plus. B is 21083 bismuth. My pen is dying too. Again, a beta particle and an antineutrino,